Good morning, everybody. I'm Tracy from Interiors Monthly, and I'm here with Linda, and I'm going to let Linda introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Linda Thomas, Head of Operations at SMG, which is a buying group, a flooring buying group in the UK. We've got around 450 retail outlets, and they vary from large retailers with several branches down to family businesses, and they're right across the country.
Fantastic. So, Linda, could you tell me a little bit about yourself? How did you get into the flooring industry?
Well, it was by chance, really, because originally I was a chemist, an industrial chemist. I worked for companies like Mars and Unilever for a while. And then I had decided to change my life and went back to college and did some business qualifications. And then because I didn't have any experience in that, I did some temping for a while and then came to SMG. And the rest is history, really. I thought when I first started, I thought, oh, flooring, that sounds really boring. I'll give it 3 months, see how I like it. And I've been here 24 years now, so I like
Wow.
it.
Brilliant, brilliant. And oh, because that's quite a change, isn't it? From
Huge change, yeah.
yeah, massive change. So congratulations on the length that you've been with the company. How's it changed over the years?
Well, it's changed a huge amount for both retailers, I think, and for suppliers. A lot of things have come into play. We've seen the rise of online retailing. We've seen problems with the economy. We've had highs and lows for years, really. We've had issues with major suppliers going because they could no longer be competitive. More competition from abroad. It was Holland and Belgium and now Turkey. We've got issues on that front. But over those years, you see lots of problems come and go and things carry on. But the way we do business as well, there's far more online ordering now for retailers. They can use supplier portals. It makes everything faster and easier to check. So there's been a lot of changes, but the basic businesses run by family and independents, the basic philosophy and so on hasn't really changed, which is what I think. I like that.
So do you want to tell me a little bit more about that, about SMG and how it operates? Because it sounds that you're very focused on independent businesses. Does that include smaller businesses, family-run businesses, for example?
Yes, yeah, it does. We've got larger retail members which have lots of branches, and we right down to small businesses that might be run by a husband and wife team. And I think we see ourselves really as a partnership between the suppliers and our retail members. And our job is to try to increase the profits and the business with our members by encouraging the members to buy from them. And then for the retailers, they will gain benefits from terms and rebates and some business support and things like that that they wouldn't get if they were just trying to do things on their own. They get group terms and rebates and things that really help them increase their profit.
So effectively, you're a buyer group.
We are, yeah, we're a buying group and
Yeah.
in partnership with both retailers and members. We have approved suppliers and we have retail members.
Yeah, okay. So what would be the advantage of somebody joining SMG?
Well, I think any independent retailer joining any of the groups, because they all offer slightly different things, it depends what you want. You gain benefits from being part of something larger than just your retail business. So you've got more buying power because you're part of a group. So you'll find that on the whole, your prices are better. You'll get rebates on the sales you make. You'll get support with your marketing. You'll get help with debranding and rebranding if that's what you want to do. Some people are very sensitive to local competition, so they might want to debrand the products in their store. It just makes that easier, really. So there are lots and lots of benefits from joining a group, and we always find that a retailer's never worse off if they join a group. They always benefit. And I mean, some of our members have been with us more than 50 years. So as the businesses grow and evolve, whether they're large or small, they do get a benefit from being in a group. And that's any group, really.
Mm-hmm. Great. So we talked about some of the changes over the years, and obviously we've been through quite a sea change in the last few years. How do you think, say, Brexit and the pandemic have impacted upon the industry?
Well, Brexit had a large impact on those suppliers who were manufacturing abroad, such that it made big delays on delivery times because getting into the ports and getting through the new customs made it difficult. So we found that they've managed to adapt to that now, largely by holding stock in the UK, which speeds up the delivery process. So they've managed to evolve, but there was a time of change around that. And then with regards to the pandemic, it had a big effect on retail because, first of all, it went completely quiet and we were worried how things would go. And then as the businesses started to open up, because people had spent a lot of time in their homes, they decided that they wanted to revamp and refresh. So trade was booming for 18 months, absolutely booming, to the point that suppliers were having trouble keeping up with demand. But then after that, we had economic issues with things getting hard, interest rates going up. And we found that, and people had already done their homes. So trade is just really, really tough at the moment. And it has been probably for the last year, to levels that were way pre-pandemic and so on. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster, really.
Yeah, so you're certainly seeing the impact of recession.
Definitely.
Particularly, I would imagine, on smaller retailers. I mean, is it impacting everybody, or is it impacting smaller guys more, do you think?
I think the impact is largely geographic. I think it depends. If you're serving an area which is more affluent, I think you're still doing okay. I think if you're in an area that is less affluent and people are worried about how they're going to afford food and how they're going to afford their electric and gas, buying flooring is more of a luxury item. It can wait. So people are holding off until confidence builds. And I think that also had an effect on the building trade. It slowed down house buying and people moving house. So again, that had an effect on people buying flooring. So I think the effect is more geographical rather than whether the business is large or small.
Interesting. So what does SMG do to support its members through these really difficult times of economic downturn?
We try, first of all, we try to get them the best possible terms they can have from our suppliers so that it makes them competitive, and help them to be able to access products from all different price points, because you need to be able to be a bit more flexible on what you're selling depending on what area you're in and so on. But we're also starting a big campaign to support independent retail above other things and to highlight what independent retailers can offer that online vendors can't. So they need to be proud of the fact that they offer a service, they can offer advice, they do the fitting, they do the measuring and so on, that you don't get if you're just looking on your computer. So they need to really shout about that. And if their prices are a bit higher, that's why they're a bit higher. And in order to support that, we're offering a lot of marketing materials they can use, which we'll be launching at the Index show. And they'll be downloadable. They can mix and match what they want to use. Everything from window clings, social media, download templates they can use and so on. So there'll be quite a lot available. And we're just really trying to find new opportunities for them to have the best terms, really.
Great. You mentioned the Index show, so you've got that coming up.
We've got that coming up. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. That's in Solihull and it's on the last day of April, first day of May. And it's now this year, it used to be the Buying Group show, but this year it's open to all independent retailers, so long as they've got stores. And if they go to Index Flooring Show website, they'll be able to register there. So I'd encourage everyone to do that because we need to support these shows.
Yeah, definitely. So people can come and speak to you directly if they've got any questions or they want to find out more. Okay.
Yeah, they can speak to us. They can speak to the suppliers. They can see what new ranges are around and what things are, what things are happening. Really, it's good to see. It's good to get out and see the whole picture.
Fantastic. Anything else coming up in the pipeline?
No, well, our big marketing thing that we're doing and campaigning for independent retail above everything else. We're also working on a portal that should be available to our members where they can access everything they need in one place, because I think that would be very useful. So those are the things we're doing. We're also supporting things like the Wall Carpet Focus Group because we're keen to support the bigger picture. British manufacturing, we're supporting that, and generally trying to help where we can to support suppliers and retailers.
Great. Okay. We've talked about Brexit, we've talked about economic downturn, and the pandemic, obviously, I think probably had some benefits in encouraging people to think about shopping more locally, more, supporting independent retailers. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed there's been a bit of a shift towards people making more conscious choices when they're looking to purchase?
I think people are keen to make conscious choices, but whether they do or not depends on how much disposable income they've got. I mean, it's great to be green. It's great to go to your local if you've got the money that you've got to spend. I think that's the major stumbling block. But I think everybody would like to do that. They'd like to buy from British manufacturers, support local retail, and so on. For some people, that's just not possible. But I think where people have got the money, they would choose to spend their money in that way.
Yeah, and you mentioned green. How important do you think sustainability is now?
I think it's going to become more and more important, especially to suppliers and retailers, because they're going to need to take responsibility for the products they put out there right until the end of life. And when the product's taken up and what happens to it then, the cost of disposal is hugely high. And I think people are going to have to look more and more about how they're going to manage their recycling, how they're going to buy recycled products. And I think the importance of this is showing right across the board with our suppliers. When you look at most suppliers now have a green sustainable range as part of their portfolio. Others are promoting wool products for its sustainability. So it becomes part of the selling package. With regards to consumers, I think everybody, again, would like to buy greener products and sustainable products, but it does come back to how much disposable income they've got. They want it, but they don't really want to pay more for it. That's the thing.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, like you say, of legislation, there may not be a choice going forward. Yeah. So if people want to know more, we've obviously mentioned they can come to the Index Show. If they can't make it to the Index Show, how can they find out about you?
Well, our website is smg-group.co.uk. You can link up with me on LinkedIn, or we're also on Facebook and Instagram, so you'll find us there.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you taking time out. What have you got planned for the rest of the day?
I should be catching up on things. It's always busy on a Friday, so there's plenty to do. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for your time, as I say, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.